Hey guys, Alex here outside Goodison Park. If you're watching this around the world, I am sorry. Manchester City 0, Everton 4. If you want to see us sign someone like Gabriel Jesus, might be a start, hit the like button right now. I'm going to be going through your comments, your thoughts, your questions, so get them in. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about after a performance like that. There's so much to be said. There they are. Those are your thoughts coming straight through to me live. We're going through to those in a second. You got something you want to talk about, a point you want to make? Do you want to talk about Bravo? Do you want to talk about Pep? Do you want to talk about the title race? I think that's time for that is over. Let us know in the comments. We're going through that very, very shortly. First things first, credit to Everton. They were superb today. Any team that scores 4 goals is doing something right, but on the flip side, any team that concedes 4 is doing something wrong, and there is a lot going wrong. Gaël Clichy has a lot to answer for. John Stones had a real mixed bag of a game, and a game where you'd really hope he'd turn it on in front of his former team. You're looking at the team now, and I'm thinking, where was the passion? Where was the desire? You think Stones will be up for it. Zabaleta is the captain. We've seen him get games up for it. You're looking at the old guard, the Silvers, the Yayas. They look like they didn't want to be there today, and they look like they were wanting to be at home. Maybe they had a little bit of time off over Christmas. It was a 9-day break. We should have been raring. You're looking at Arsenal winning so convincingly away at Swansea. You're looking at Chelsea winning away at Leicester. The other big teams, the other teams that are in the title race, are in the top 4. They're getting results, and the reason we're not in the title race is we've not come to places where it's been made difficult for us and got the result. All right, let's go through it now. MCFC Chari has got some criticism of Pablo Zabaleta. Obviously, I don't think he's to blame playing out of position. He's doing what he can, but it certainly wasn't a vintage Zabaleta performance that we'll talk about for years to come. A lot of criticism about Claudio Bravo. Now, I've defended Claudio Bravo on Blooming Rising a lot. I know Paul defends him an awful lot, and Stephen had something to say as well. Walter as well, but maybe Elliot is someone else in the Claudio Bravo front. Look, Claudio Bravo's performances haven't been perfect, and there's a lot to talk about, and the battle will rage on. The conversation will continue. Today, I don't think he was the reason that we conceded 4 goals. I don't think he was the reason that we didn't score. I don't think you can blame him. We can't scapegoat Claudio Bravo. That said, he does make a lot of mistakes. Over the course of this season, he hasn't been perfect. He hasn't been the answer. And I think there's a lot of times when we think maybe Joe Hart would have performed. The first goal today, I personally think we've got to be looking at Stones and Clichy for making the mistakes. Then from that point, it was one-on-one. In a one-on-one situation, you can't really blame the goalkeeper. And a lot of people I saw on Twitter saying Joe Hart would have saved it. Well, it was hard and low to his left. That was traditionally where Joe Hart hated the ball to go and never really saved down there. So Claudio Bravo has a lot to answer for. I think his critics have certainly got a point. Today, I don't think he's the right man to scapegoat personally, but look, we've got to look at it. And people saying he needs to adapt to the Premier League. To an extent, I agree with you, but he's not a young lad. He's only got so much time in the Premier League, and he's got to learn quick. Let's go through some more comments. Let's go through it. Pep is a fraud. That's a nice original comment. I like your style. Obviously, I'm sure you've got loads of time on your hands. A lot of people talking about how just generally poor, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. We've got some fan cams coming up. There was so much passion from the fans, so much anger, so much frustration, so many people not 100% sure exactly where we're going wrong, but people, did anyone expect today, anyone who travelled here today, did they expect a 4-0 scoreline in either way? Did anyone tuning in at home, settling down in front of the television or the laptop, expect it to go the way that way? I don't think anyone did. I think, let's be honest, we've had our minds blown a little bit. I think Koeman, credit to him, got something right today, but boy did we get it wrong. Patrick saying position for Bravo to go must be started. I mean, if you want, personally, I'd rather see us get behind the team. I consider myself a supporter, someone who wants to support the team and help enthusiastic, but I do understand your frustration, Patrick. Someone said, Alex, what's wrong? For me, the biggest issue was the passion. I thought we were the better team for the first 15, 20 minutes. Everton looked like they come to play. They did create a couple of chances, but I thought we went 1-0 down and we didn't react to it. And I've said this a few times this season. We didn't show the right enthusiasm. We didn't show the right passion. And it seems like the only way we know how to show passion is to get ourselves sent off. And it seems we go from extremes where everyone turns up for a war or they don't turn up at all. And I think we need to get that medium right. And whether that comes down to the team talk before they go out, whether it comes down to the captain, whether it comes down to the weather, whether it comes down to the home fans, but somehow we need to show more enthusiasm. And I think, to be honest, when we were 2-0 down, I still thought, with the quality on the pitch, we could get back into it. Mason Holgate, a great young lad they had playing at right back today at Everton. He's got a really bright future in the game. But Kevin De Bruyne, you should be expected to beat him almost every single time. They had Stekelenburg out with an injury doubt, so they had a second-choice goalkeeper. We should be looking at that and going, yes, great, rubbing our hands together, saying we can score 2, 3, 4 here today. And to be honest, besides the Sterling chance about 10 minutes in, I don't see us scoring at all in that game, and it's for for me, passion, enthusiasm, attitude, clinical nature, all missing. Frustrating, heartbreak. For those of you who just joined us, we are live outside Goodison Park. This isn't a rant, there is some organisation to it. We're going through your comments, your thoughts, trying to get some answer as to what happened here today. Ethan Bell, I don't want to see Clichy play for us again. I sat watching the game with Paul from the channel, who's holding the camera now. Shout out to Paul, stood out in the rain, putting his hands out cold. I said to him about 50, 60 minutes in, we can't sign Danny Rose quick enough. For me, I watched the Spurs game yesterday and just watched him flying up and down the wing, tracking back, showing exactly how the modern left back should play. And for me, I would love to see us bring Danny Rose in. At the moment, it feels a little bit like I'm in dreamland, because I'm fully aware that Danny Rose, if he does leave Spurs, and I don't think he will in a rush, will want to leave to an elite club, a club at the very top of the game. And certainly Manchester City, we don't like that club at the moment. Let's go through some more on the live chat. Defensive reinforcements needed about Abdelaziz Bolo. Let me know who you want to see, because I think we've thrown money over the last 3-4 seasons. I'm talking the Mangala days, throwing players, and it hasn't worked out for us. We're talking Stefan Savic. We've said this for years. We need to throw some young lads in at the back four. And it hasn't been the answer. For me, we want to gel. I would like to see us bring in some fullbacks. I think just the age of Sanya and Clichy. Sanya, who I thought was actually one of our star players today, who really did the job that was asked of him, was one of the few out there who performed for 90 minutes. So I think, we need to bring some fullbacks in. The centre-back pairing, Stones, Otamendi is getting there. It is coming together. And I do feel we've got to give them a little bit of time and get a little bit more used to it. Bye-bye top four, says Usman Faroon. We've got someone who said that exactly on the fan cams. Paul is going to upload those later this evening. Make sure you check those out. There's fire emojis all over the place. It goes off on the fan cams. Not Arsenal Fan TV. There's a little bit of class to it, but there is some passion and some enthusiasm. All right, I'm going to go through one more. We've talked about goalkeepers. We've talked about defenders. We should play De Bruyne in a middle position. I sort of agree with you. I really thought with Kevin De Bruyne today playing at number 10, it wasn't really the situation that we wanted. I think he is at his best at number 10, and for me, he has to play there again. We had Sterling playing up front. We had Aguero on the wing. You know what? It wasn't really what we were hoping for today. So Heartbreak Hotel, another tough day to be a Blue. I hate saying that, it's becoming a catchphrase on this channel, but we aren't getting the performances that we need. I think everyone now is talking about Willy Caballero. Is he the answer? I'm not so sure, but equally, Claudio Bravo, the clock is ticking, you've had your chance, maybe it's time to throw Big Willy in there. Guys, I've had my say, you continue the conversation now in the comments. It doesn't have to stop here. I'm standing out in the freezing rain. If that isn't worth a like, I don't know what is. And Gabriel Jesus, boy, Pep, sign him up. This is BlueMoonRisingTV. I'll see you next time.